My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the largest mass movement on the face of this very planet, the indigenous people of Biafra. I am the director of Radio Biafra and Biafra Television. And by the very special grace of the Most High Elohim, Chukwokika Biama Prumi Henine, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. This evening, it is rather very unfortunate that we are unable to come to you live on my Facebook page. Those of them that run Facebook, not only in the damnable zoological republic, but also out of California, they have decided or determined, I should say, that I shouldn't broadcast live on Facebook. I have done everything humanly possible. We have done everything humanly possible to make sure we come live on Facebook. They have refused. They have flatly refused. The zoo have stuffed them with money as always. And those of them working for Facebook in Lagos and in Abuja have sided with the Janjaweed Fulani Caliphate to try to deny us space to propagate the gospel of the restoration of the kingdom of heaven upon the face of this very earth. This address this evening is designed to touch upon everything we have accomplished over the years and what we intend to accomplish as we move forward. Not minding that I'm not on Facebook, I will allow, or should I say advise our people to allow those who are waiting for me to come live on Facebook to please access this very broadcast via IPOB Community Radio app, also Radio Biafra app, our FM relay stations in the blessed land of Biafra. We are also on satellite television. There you can be able to follow this very program this morning, afternoon, or night, depending on where you are. Before we go any further, it is customary with us, we must hand over our proceedings to the Most High, Chukwokika Biama Prumi Henine, to come and take charge not just of this very broadcast this very evening, but also these very efforts to liberate his own children this year going forward. They have decided not to allow us to broadcast on social media. That notwithstanding, I do understand that we are on YouTube as well. Some of you may be able to follow us on that very platform if you wish to do so. Let us pray. And we are going to pray as it is customary here in the language of heaven. Chineke na nke pụrụ ihe niile Chukwokike abịa ma bụ onye mmụọ na mmadụ na-akpụ isi ala nye. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya ka mbara igwe na-egosi ọlụ aka ya mere eji wee na-etugusu niile nke ndị agha onweghị onye dịka eze ndị nsọ. Ọ bụ na aka gị ka anyị dabere onye nwe m. N'ime gị ka anyị gbabara ezi ebube dị ngọzi. Wee n'eze atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro. Anyị wee were ụmụ gị n'ụwa niile bụ ndị IPOB bụ abụrụ ituru ugo onye nwe m. Wee na-ebute n'iru nsọ gị. Ka i wee gọzie ụmụ gị n'otu n'otu. Ọlụ aka ha niile, ezinụlọ ha niile, ọpụpụ ha na mbata ha. Onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile arịrịọ ka anyị na-arịọ gị. Mkpọkụ ka anyị na-akpọku aha nsọ gị. Ka ọ ga-abụ n'ikpete maazụ ka ndị iro hapụ ịchị anya ọchị onye nwe m n'ihi na ọ bụ sọsọ aha nsọ gị ka anyị ji wee na-anya isi. Anyị enweghị onye ọzọ. Mba niile dị iche iche wee gbakọta anya azụ wee na-eme ka ha wee megide ndị gị onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke igwe ka ha si wee kunie na ha ga-esi wee megide obodo nsọ gị bụ Israel. Iwe si na mba n'okwu gị ga-abịarịrị na mmezu n'ụbọchị nketa Israel wee guzosi ike. Otu a ka anyị si wee na-arịọ gị n'otu aka ahụ anyị onwe anyị bụ ụmụ gị bụ ndị Biafra gbasasị aka ọkpaka n'ụwa niile ka anyị na-eche n'iru gị nna nke ebere dị ngọzi n'ihi na ikwuru anyị na nkwa sị na mgbe ọbụla anyị kụdiri wee kpọkuo aha nsọ gị asụghị ngọngọ atụghị egwu mmadụ ọbụla ụbọchị ọbụla anyị kụnyere iwe jụọ arụsị na ụbọchị nke ahụ na ị ga-agọzi anyị n'ụzọ pụrụ iche. Iwe gọzie ndị gị onye nwe m n'ụbọchị nke taa. Sọsọ eji ama ka anyị na-ajaga onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke igwe, n'ihi na ọ bụ na-anaghị bụ ndị pụrụ ime mila ndị iro n'ihu anyị etu a. Onye nwe m na Chineke nna, ka aka nsị ndị iro bara ha ọnụ, obodo ekwensu buzu aka nsị ha wee baa ha ọnụ, ndị terọrist na ndị bandit wechiri ha wee n'ala ha n'iyi, dịka isi wekwa anyị na nkwa na oge ahụ ru na ị ga-ememila ndị niile bụ ndị mere ka ụmụ gị wee gbaa anya mmiri. Onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke bi n'igwe, anyị wee were ụmụ gị ndị a niile n'otu n'otu, onwe onye ọbụla nke anyị na-ahapụ wee nyefee gị n'aka. Anyị wee na-echeta ndị nọ n'ụlọ nga, wee na-echeta ndị nọ n'ụlọ iko n'onweghị ihe ọbụla ha mere, ndị niile bụ ndị nwe ike kpọtara ndị ụmụ ekwensu ka ha wee gbagbuo. Onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna, ị ga-abọrọ anyị ọbọ ebe nwe ike nọ na ndị otu ya. Ị ga-abọrọ anyị ọbọ n'ihi na ị bụ Chineke nna. Ị ga-abọrọ anyị ọbọ ebe nwe ike na onye nwe m. N'otu aka na isi ụmụahị na ndị ọjọọ niile bụ ndị kpọtara ndị Fulani Janjaweed n'ala nsọ gị. Onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke igwe, ndị dị etu a bụ ndị ga-ekpochapụ n'otu n'otu. Ị gaghị emere ha ebere. Anyị na-agba akwụkwọ n'isi ha nna nke igwe, n'otu ahụ onwe ha si wee mụta ụmụaka, n'ihi na nwa ike mụtara nwoke mụta nwaanyị. Otu aka akụ nwa ha si wee mụta nwoke mụta nwaanyị, ikpeazụ wee mụta nwoke wee mụta nwaanyị, nwoke wee mụta nwoke wee mụta nwaanyị. Nna nke ebere dị ngọzi ka ha si wee mechie ezinụlọ ndị ọzọ. Onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke bi n'igwe, sikwotu wee mechie ezinụlọ ndị dị etu a, n'ihi na onweghị ihe ọbụla nesiri anyị na ha na-abụ. Nna nke ebere, ọ bụ ozi si anyị gaa ka anyị na-aga. Onweghị onye ọbụla anyị napụrụ ihe ya n'ike. Anyị anaghị ezu ochi, anyị anaghị agba ama. Nna nke dị nsọ, ị ga-eku n'iwe lụọrọ ndị gị ọgụ. Onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke igwe, obodo ekwensu bụ uzu ka ị ga-ala n'iyi dịka ekwesịkwa anyị na ngwa. Anyị wee na-arịọ gị na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi. Ọ bụ gị onwe gị bụ onye hiwere Eastern Security Network, ọ bụghị mmadụ dị ndụ, n'ihi na ọ bụ izi anyị ozi, anyị wee zie ndị dị ndụ. Iwe si n'oge ahụ erule mgbe nnụnụ ọbụla ji alaghachi na-akwu. Onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke igwe, na a ga-enwe ndị nche ga-eche ala nsọ gị. Iwe si etu a wee mee ka ha wee guzosi ike. Ezi ebube dị ngọzi, ihe ha ga-eri agaghị akọ ha. Onye nwe m na Chineke nna, ị ga-ekpuchigide ha, ị ga-enye ndị mmụọ ozi gị iwu ebe ụmụ gị ndị dị etu anọ bụ ndị nche, bụ ndị volunteer. Anyị wee guzosi ike n'isi ụmụ gị ndị a niile bụ ndị na-eche ala nsọ gị bụ Biafra. Onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke igwe, wee na-asị na ndị mmụọ ozi gị ga-agba ha okirikiri wee chebe ha ụtụtụ ehihie abalị. Onweghị atụmatụ ọjọọ ọbụla nke ndị iro ga-emetụta ha n'ahụ. Nna nke igwe, n'ihi na mmeri bụ nke anyị. Ị ga-arọpụtara anyị ngwa agha ezi ebube. Ị ga-arọpụtara anyị ngwa agha. Onye nwe m, na ndị Fulani Janjaweed bata ala nsọ gị, anyị sụọ ha akwụ. Nna nke ebere, anyị were ọbara ha wee tọjụọ ala, n'ihi na abụ m ekwensu. Ọ ga-abụ na ekpetamasị na Biafra ga-eguzorịrị. O nweghị ihe ọbụla mmadụ dị ndụ pụrụ ime ebe Biafra nọ. Biafra ga-eguzo, n'ihi na ihe ọbụla idere n'idewu ya. Anyị ga-aja gị mma wee too gị, gọzie aha nsọ gị ma bulie gị elu site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi ka anyị na-arịọ. Ise. Once again, I welcome each and every one of you this evening, morning, afternoon, night, depending on where you are. We are not able to broadcast live on Facebook because Facebook proceeded to tell me, or in fact, they actually said to me that I will not be able to broadcast on my Facebook page. That is the reason why they have not certified it. And I'm starting this very evening by reminding ourselves what our eternal leader, Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu went through during his time. Somebody captured it very succinctly. And the person said that Ojukwu fought 2 wars. I will call it 3. Because Ojukwu was fighting neo-colonialism, British imperialist interest in black Africa. Ojukwu was also fighting the stupidity of a black man. Because those who rose up against him were also black people who were suffering, and they are still suffering till this very day. Ojukwu was also fighting Igbo Efulefus everywhere. That was exactly what happened. And this fight we are facing now is no different. That is why our people must listen and understand what I have to say this evening very, very carefully. Because this very fight is not going to become any easier. As we get to the finishing line, it will become far more difficult. But God Almighty in heaven, Chukwukike Abiyama, has done something for us. As the Janjaweed are coming down to the south to engage us, which I'm sure they're going to do, their lands in the north will be occupied by bandits that they themselves created. So this evening, I want you to understand that there is a method in our madness. We are very, very strategic in terms of our approach, not just to the disintegration of the damnable zoological republic, but its disembowelment. I did promise you many years ago that by the time we are done with Nigeria, the name Nigeria will no longer exist. That is where we are heading to. And for us to be able to accomplish that, we need to recreate the scenario of Yemen, the scenario of Syria, the scenario of Somalia, in the northern part of the damnable zoological republic. And there is only one way we are going to achieve that. ESN will give it to us. How? Because in their eternal foolishness and stupidity, it is called hubris. The Janjaweed army will come to the south to engage us. They will. They will come. It is not a question of if, but when. But this time around, we are waiting for them in our bushes and in our forests. We are not going to fight this war in our townships. We are going to fight it inside our bushes and in our forests. They will come there and we are going to kill them. All of them. And as they are coming into our bushes and in our forests, they will leave their backside open. Terrorists from all across the Sahel will flood into Arewa lands and occupy it. God will destroy them. I just want all of you to watch and see what is going to happen to the zoo. What they call banditry and insurgency is only the beginning. Just an appetizer. The real dish is coming. The main course is coming. At the end of this process, all of you will worship God the way that nobody ever did in the world before. Biafra is coming not through the efforts of any mortal, but through the grace of God and God only and not man. God will not share his glory with any mortal. By the time that Biafra gets here to us, we will all be very thankful that out of the billions upon billions of the people that occupy this very earth, Chukwokika chose Biafra to showcase his mighty works. You must remember this always. The fight we are engaged in is not of a carnal nature. It is very, very spiritual. That is why the same Efulefus that fought Ojukwu, the same idiots that is scattered all over the zoo that fought Ojukwu's restructuring, they gave birth to their children, and today those idiots, some of them of course fathered by Fulani Janjaweed, are fighting us. Because Biafra is the kingdom of heaven upon the face of the earth. The beginning of the genuine liberation of every black person on the face of this very earth. Therefore, Lucifer doesn't want Biafra to come. Agents of darkness in the zoo and beyond do not want Biafra to come. Neo-colonialists in British Foreign and Commonwealth Office do not want Biafra to come. Because they know what Biafra portends. They know that with Biafra, a Fulani, ordinary Fulani boy will be able to go to school and be free. They know with the coming of Biafra that entire Black Africa will be liberated from decades, or should I say centuries, of unsolvable hardship and poverty. They understand that very well. That's why they are fighting. When you see the likes idiots like Nwike and Omahi, they are doing the job of the devil. They are working for Lucifer, for darkness. The same thing that Obabia Seka did against Ojukwu, that is what Nwike and Omahi are doing, all of them. Your so-called governors. Have they been able to defend you against Fulani Janjaweedism? When Nimbo was attacked, Uzowani was attacked by Fulani headsmen, all these Efulefus, what did they do? They did nothing. When people were being murdered and raped and slaughtered in Edo State, what did the governor then do of Edo? Nothing. Even right now, Delta State is under siege. What have they done? Nothing. Therefore, I find it very, very distressing that human beings that claim they are educated or have a semblance of exposure to enlightenment and reason will rise up one morning to side the governors. I find it very, very shocking. These are the things that you must understand and bear in mind. That the same difficulties Ojukwu encountered against Igbo people especially, and some Efulefus from Ijoland, from Ibibio, are we all not suffering now? Who is having fun? I'm asking you. Ken said, we were that sold out to Biafra. Is he not dead? Was he not killed by a Fulani man? By a Janjaweed? Who are the people that own the oil wells we have today in Ijoland, in Ogoniland, in Ibibio, in Anang, in Efik land? I'm asking them, the idiots that refer to themselves as South, I want to ask you a simple question. How many oil wells do you have in your land? That was what Ojukwu was fighting for. So you can have access to your own resources, but out of your stupidity, your idiocy and foolishness, you sided Abacha, you sided Muhammad, you sided the Obasanjos of this world. Today, all the billionaires you have, not one single Biafran is amongst them. Not one single Easterner. The only thing that you idiots specialize in is fighting those who are fighting for your freedom. That is how foolish some of you are. You are foolish beyond redemption. After fighting Ojukwu from 67 to 70, how is your life today, I ask you? How is your life? It's a very simple question. Ojukwu went to Aburi to go and get restructuring for all of you to make your lives better. The same way that their propaganda machine led by the BBC managed to, because we are black people. Just like today we are celebrating New Year's Day, a Gregorian New Year's Day. Because one pope somewhere decided that he wants to be having his Christmas every winter. That is all. He changed the calendar of the world, turned it upside down. Today we are celebrating Gregorian New Year. When you go to Africa and see how people are celebrating the New Year, nobody's asking any question. Is this the actual beginning of the year? Nobody's asking. That was how they brainwashed all of you, washed away your brains and your common sense. You can no longer reason. That is why after Arabs must have sold us as commodities, the Europeans came, took us into the Americas as slaves, sold our children as slaves. Today we are still being killed in some parts of America, isn't it? A boy was killed in Ireland just the other day. After they finished, now the Chinese are coming. Every race in the world will always enter into Africa because they understand how foolish Africans are. They know we are going to be fighting each other and not them. They understand what I call the genetic defects and deficiency in the brain of a black man. They understand it very well. The same thing is happening to us. Omahi could not defend you when the Fulanis came. None of your so-called governors could defend you when the Fulanis came. The same people are today saying they're against Eastern Security Network, and some of you are foolish enough to be listening to them. But when Uzowani was attacked in Enugu, people slaughtered, including a girl that came back home from Canada. None of you did anything. You did nothing. Did you see how black people reason? That is the reason why God gave me this revelation many years ago, that the greatest obstacle to the progress of a black man is in his brain, that a black man cannot reason. A black man cannot reason. Fulanis, they come to your land, they attack you, they rape your mothers, they abduct your daughters. What are you going to do about it? It's a very simple question. For very many years, we kept quiet to see if you can do anything about it. But you did nothing. All we did was to lament. Oh, there's been this kidnapping here. Fulani has destroyed crops here. They have killed us here. They have sacked our village. Every year, every week, we kept on lamenting with no concrete action. Only lamentation, lamentation, lamentation. Now that those chosen by God to fight for his land has risen up to set up Eastern Security Network, some of the idiots, I wouldn't even say it is them, some of the idiots, some of the fools, some of the people fathered by Janjaweed, they are busy telling you the governors are against it. This is not against it. It's Nnamdi Kanu's a militia. But Amotekun is there. They'll tell you it was set up by law. There is a law guiding it. Which law is that? Show me in the constitution of the zoo. And when you point out Miet Yala Vigilante to them, they shut their mouth. What they have now done is to go to DSS every day. DSS will manufacture one group that doesn't exist. That does not exist. Because they understand the mind of a black monkey in Africa. That they don't listen. Once they keep telling you, this Igbo group is against ESN, that Eastern group is against Nnamdi Kanu. If they keep repeating the same lie and garbage, they know you are black people. One day it will click into your mind. And you start to question ESN. Then that time they will bring what is left of their army. We know how many soldiers they have in the zoo. And we know that we have more men under arms than them in the zoo. We know why we lost the war. We are not going to lose this very war. I'm telling you the truth. Before God and man, we can't lose it. Heaven is my witness. We can never lose it. They are going to die in our land. They are going to die in Biafra land. And their homes will be taken over by the monster that they bred. There is something some of you do not understand in the zoo. Sometimes when I go through zoo, in fact, I say to myself, God, in my next life, I can never come to Africa. I don't want to mix with idiots who cannot reason very well. Let me tell you what is going to happen in the north. For some of you who do not know, it has started happening already. Do you know that the mother of Buratai died? Buratai could not go to his house. He's the army general, commanding all the armies of the zoo. He couldn't go for his mother's burial. Are you aware of that? In Borno, he couldn't go. Why do you think so? Do you know that Isa Funtua died? He was not buried in his village, he was buried in Abuja. Are you aware that Abba Kyari died? Abba Kyari was not buried in his hometown, in one of the Borno villages. He was buried, so they claim, in Abuja. Do you know that Simon Da is dead? Do you know that everybody who has risen up to take over, do you know that the entire Fulani cabal that I was telling you about before, that they're all dead? Are you aware of that? Buhari is dead. Abba Kyari is dead. Issa Funtua is dead. Simon Da is dead. Are you aware of that, all of you? Are you aware of that? No, you don't know. This war is being waged in the spiritual realm for some of you who don't understand. The reason why they have not announced the death of Mama and Daura is because they said, if they announce it now, I'll look for the next person to curse. Go and ask them in Abuja, that's what they're saying. Anybody who rises up to become the head of the cabal, you will die. You have an eternal curse placed on you. And Mama and Daura is dead, of course he's dead. The entire cabal is dead. If you don't know, let me tell you. They are just playing games, playing mind games with all of you. But we're going to unravel them this year. You know that what saved them last year was coronavirus and the restriction of travel all over the world and all the attending problems that came with it. I'm telling you the truth. But this year, they can't escape it. Something is going to happen to the zoo that any ear that hears it will vibrate forever and ever. God will destroy Nigeria completely and totally. I want to let Britain understand this. I want them to do all they can to save their zoo that they created for the habitation of idiots who cannot reason in Africa, especially Nigerians. I need them to understand this very carefully. Do all you can to save your zoo. You cannot save it. Watch and see what is going to happen. The Janjaweed are coming from all over the Sahel with their camel, bringing in every manner of sophisticated weaponry. Not to come and fight Biafrans, of course not. But to come and finish all these vultures. They are in a very serious mess, I assure you. I gave them 3 examples: Yemen, Somalia, and Syria. That is what is going to obtain in the northern part of the zoo. They can't escape it. So some of you disturbing yourself or distressing yourselves as to what we are going through this very day, you don't have to worry. Because we know where we're going. And so far, so good, that I can assure you. Today is our eternal leader not vindicated. Today, Fulani is telling you we're now ready for restructuring. The same restructuring that Ojukwu went to Abuja and negotiated, and Britain said no. Fulani said no to restructuring. Now they want to restructure back to regions. The same thing that Ojukwu cried and campaigned for. That some people, some Igbo people rose against Ojukwu. Is it not the same thing they're asking for today? The same Nyawodo, talking about restructuring. Nyawodo's father was a traitor, a saboteur of the highest order. He fought against Ojukwu. The same way Nyawodo is fighting against me today. After the father's foolishness and treachery. Today the son is talking about restructuring. Let us restructure back to the region. The same thing Ojukwu went for, and your father said no to it. These are the people that are your leaders. Do you now understand what we are fighting? We must make it very, very clear that we are in a struggle for liberation. There is no democracy in a revolution. We are in a perpetual state of a revolution. There is no democracy. We are a quasi-military organization. Not in terms of our outlook or pursuit of what we believe in, but in terms of how we are structured. It is called command and control. That is why we are the highest, the largest mass movement in the world. When Biafra comes, you can do all the democracy in your life that you want. There are a lot of things that we are doing that we cannot tell you. When we tell you sometimes, oh, but why are you telling us? You don't have to tell us. But when we don't tell you, you also complain. Oh, why haven't you told us? So we cannot win. If you take them up, they say, you know, Sumabeke is the dead body of a white court mine those days. White colonialists. What DC, district commissioner. Take him up, you say, no, 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 no. Bring him down, you say, no, 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 no. If we don't tell you what we are doing, you say we are not doing anything. And when we tell you, you say, oh, we are talking too much, we are revealing everything. The same thing that is happening to our people today. Do you know how much money we have spent releasing those that we came in to kill in the north? Do you know how much we have spent releasing them, making sure we pay their bail bond to free them from the clutches of Fulani Janjaweed, murderers and killers? Do you know how much we spend on a daily basis? No, you don't know. But somebody will come and ask you, where is our money going? They have seen the widows we are taking care of. They have seen those we are putting through school. They know those who have flown abroad for medical treatment. That is how evil some people can be sometimes. And that is why it is only those of us at the top that know everything. You can't know everything because some of you don't know how to manage information. You have no idea how to manage information. We Biafrans, we have a lot of enemies. That is why you need to school yourself. You need to be hardened in terms of your devotion to this very noble cause. Some of you don't know what we encounter on a daily basis. Do you know that I've been to ICC before to give evidence? I never wanted to say it. Do you know I have been to ICC, International Criminal Court, to give evidence before? They said we shouldn't announce it. I kept quiet all these years. Are you aware of that? I went to ICC myself to go and give evidence. Are you aware of that? And some people came with me and they were there with me. Those who can vouch. I went to ICC to go and give evidence about Operation Python Dance and the effort of the zoo to exterminate our people. I'm just telling you for the first time. But if we don't say these things, it's as if nothing is happening. We are like a duck in a pond. When you see the serenity of the movement of a duck or a swan in a lake or a pond, you think their glide through the surface of the water is just effortless. But just right underneath the surface, what is propelling them is their feet. They are working very hard to move forward, but you can never see it. But when you're observing it from afar, you will think that a dog or a swan is just gliding through the surface of the water. You don't know that there's a lot of hard work going on underneath. These are the things that people do not appreciate nor understand. Without me telling you today, will you know? Go and ask them, they know those I took to ICC with me to go and give evidence. And that is why those idiots, I feel sorry for them. The likes of everybody who has a hand in the death of Biafrans, I feel sorry for you, because we will never forgive nor forget what you have done. Never, ever, ever. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. We Biafrans, we have a lot of enemies, understand this very well. I just want to give you one or two examples so that you have that can guide you in terms of your reasoning and your decision making. You know that Google is against us. Are you aware of that? All of you well know that Facebook is against us. Even Twitter is against us. Are you aware of that? Some of you don't understand what that is why sometimes I say there has to be a compulsory lesson in the history of Biafra for everybody who aspires to be a principal officer of state. You need to understand the demons you're fighting. Do you know that only a few months ago, if you go to Google and type in IPOB, you will see us, you will see everything there about IPOB fighting for Biafra and all the rest of it. Are you aware of that? I ask you to go this evening, now, or morning, afternoon, depending on where you are. Go and type in IPOB on Google search engine. They'll start quoting you in New York Stock Exchange. It started happening only 2 months ago. They bought them over. What they want to do is to airbrush our presence away from the minds of people. If you go and you Google Nnamdi Kanu, you will see all the fake news from DSS. That's what you will see. This Igbo group says no to ESN. That Igbo group, they don't exist. Go and Google the name of one of the people they claim is leading one of these groups. They don't exist. That is the news that you find under my name when you do Google search. You go to Biafra, the same. Our own IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra. Just type, before you type in IPOB, it's only our news. Now you go there, it's about stock exchange in America. That is how they work. Because you people think we are fighting Fulani. Who is Fulani? These are stark illiterates. Animals are better than them. They can't reason very well. These are stark illiterates. Are they educated? You can see what the mess they have done of the economy, the security, everything in the zoo is down the drain because of them. An exclusive Fulani government. You see how wretchedly incompetent they are. Do you think they can stop Biafra? Of course not. They're stopping Biafra. It's Britain now. You know that? And their allies, because they know what Biafra is all about. But some of you don't know this. That is why sometimes you lose focus. Let me tell you what happened during the colonial era in Africa. The white man came to Africa with only 5,000 men, 5,000 white people. They came. They were called the West Africa Frontier Force. They were established in the Gold Coast, then Ghana. Only 5,000 British soldiers came. But for Britain to conquer the rest of the Anglophone Africa, they needed black people to do it for them. And that's what we're facing today. Till this very morning. You know what they did? They went to Ghana, they hired Ghanaian men, black men, to help them to come from Badagry to conquer their fellow blacks for them. You know, so if you seriously think about the brain and nature of a black man, believe you me, you drink poison tonight and you die. Colonialism in Africa became possible because a few white people came down to West Africa, convinced other black people to help a white man to go and conquer their fellow black people, and they happily did it. In return for their children going to Eton and Oxford or Cambridge, they now came back as your so-called pioneer nationalists. But none of you ever knew that they came to do the bidding of the white master. That is one thing that a black man cannot understand nor unravel. And that is the beginning and end of the problem of black people all over the world. Look at how Britain is using Fulani illiterates to subjugate all of you. You cannot see it because you're daft. They gave you your name, Nigeria, didn't they? They gave you all the festivals in your calendars that you celebrate. Nobody ever got up one day to say, if God created all men equal, how come a black man cannot go to Europe and give them all these holidays? Nobody, absolutely nobody is doing that or willing to do that. They can never do it. They can never ever do it. These are the things that our people need to appreciate. That is why when they recruit them, look at how Fulani, ordinary Fulani, Cattle here has recruited somebody who is an engineer in Omahe. Wike claims he went to school. He's a lawyer. But those controlling Wike are cattle headers in Kinama. People who cannot even spell their own names. Are you aware of that? The same thing that the white man did to us when they came, the white man trained the Fulanis to be doing to all of you. And you're there looking like idiots. They came to Imo State and they picked Hopus of them, a wretched fool, and put him in office in Douglas House. Now he has given a part of Olo to Mietiala. And all of you are just there looking. Oh, what are we going to do? We need to unite. We need to do this. Now that IPOB is doing something tangible, instead of you instead of the idiocy you're suffering from to leave you. Where is the law backing ESN? Where is the law backing Fulani Janjaweedism? Where is the law backing Fulani bandits raping our mothers? When a girl was butchered in Uli, in Ihiala, butchered and cut into pieces, what did you do? Obiano, what did you do? I'm asking you. Ohanes and Jaran and Joshua, what did you do? When people are in Iguacha, even yesterday, killing people, maiming and killing, Pandef, what did you do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now that we have done something, some of you idiots. Anyway, I pray that the Fulani come. I want them to come, let's be honest. I want them to come. Remember what I told you many years ago? They will kill us. We will kill them. In the end, Biafra will come. Everything I tell you comes to pass. They will, they are Janjaweed, they will come, they are foolish. By nature, they are very hopeless. They will come. This time around, we will turn Biafra land into a burial ground for terrorists. They will understand how serious we are. We have raised it. It's no longer coming down until freedom is declared. They understand that very well. They understand that very well. There is need for us to remain focused. Going into this 2021, focused. Don't allow yourselves to become distracted. That was what happened to us during the war. Had we fought that war up until August or September of 1970, we would have won. That would have been victory. Nixon would have stepped in. That would have been victory. But we gave up as we always do. Man, this UG. After a little, mental toughness is not in us. After a little thing, we just give up. Look at Trump, how Trump is fighting. If it's nothing, why don't you concede now? Oh, why don't you give up now? Hey, give up now. Let's leave it for God. Let God do it. Trump said no. Because in a first world like the United States of America, any hint of electoral fraud ought to be investigated. These are white people. You think they're going to tolerate? You think they are black Africans? No. I'm not saying that Biden did not win. I'm not saying that. But there are evidence of electoral fraud, and it is being investigated. Look at all of you in Africa. Look at all of you. Rigging after rigging. Have you done anything? No. In America, legislators are debating. How many people are on the electoral roll? How many people actually voted? Can you match their signatures? That is how human beings reason. In disease, let's leave it now for God. Hey, it's 2023. Let's leave it now. This UG, black people, we must be focused. A lot of things are happening. And this evening, I must make you understand this. We are not folding our arms and we're not going to allow them to overrun us. They have overrun parts of Benue. That is their game plan. That is one thing Omahi doesn't know. Wike doesn't know. Obiano, all these idiotic governors, or maybe they know. The allure of being a vice president to a Janjaweed is what is propelling them. Do you know that in Benue State they want to install a Sadwana in Otrubo? In Otrubo. They want to put Sadwana there. Now, let me say this thing to the so-called Middle Belt. Of course, Otrubo is part and parcel of Biafra, but let me, for the benefit of this very analysis, let's call them Middle Belt. Do you remember that you fought against Ojukwu? Do you remember that the same propaganda they're using now to get some of you Efulefus, they deployed it in the Middle Belt. They told them Ojukwu is here to take over their land, to dominate them, to make their life a misery. They foolishly fought against Biafra. But today, the man that told you that Ojukwu is your problem is planning to install a Sadwana in Otrubo. What does that mean? Because some of you do not know history. You have no knowledge of history. You know, some of you go through zoo primary school, zoo secondary school, zoo university. You know nothing. Your brains are empty. As one man, I think it was a professor that said that a graduate in Nigeria is more dangerous than an illiterate. Because half education is dangerous. You know the price of everything and the value of nothing. Look at your history books. The same game they played in Gobe, in Sokoto, is happening now at your doorstep in Otrupo. Sadwana in Otrupo. This is your one Nigeria for you. Anybody who, do you see why I said that? Anybody who believes in Nigeria, I swear to God Almighty in heaven, I shouldn't swear, but I am live on air. I don't regard you as a human being. Once you get up and you say, I am a Nigerian, heaven knows you are lower, before my sight, you are lower than an animal. You're one Nigeria. Ojukwu is your problem. Igbo is your problem. Nnamdi Kanu is your problem. Biafra is your problem. They have come to Otrubo. First, they divide you. That's what they do. They divide you and they conquer you piecemeal by piecemeal, territory after territory. Have you seen it? They have come now to Otrubo. The same place they couldn't penetrate for nearly 5,000 years. They have now come. How did they succeed? Because they told you that Otrubo, you're different. You're not part of them. You're part of us. North. One North. Igbo man is your problem. Now, Fulani is your problem, isn't it? Sadwana of Otrubo. That land is gone. And unless they fight, he's gone forever and ever. I'm telling you the truth. They have to join us and fight. You must fight. You have to fight. If you don't fight, your land is gone. Because what is going to happen is when they have the election, Fulani man is INEC chairman. You know they're going to remove Obaseki very soon. Obaseki will be out from Edo State. They kick him out. Certificate forgery, he's gone. Do you know what they will do? They will impose their people on you. Who voted for Hope Uzodinma? Some people today in Imo State are saying, our governor, I keep asking myself, are you sure you created these people? Are they human beings? Who voted for him? Nobody. The same way, it was an experiment. As you have accepted Hope Uzodinma, so will you accept whoever they impose as Ohaneze President General? And your lives are over. And then what they will do now is to be fighting IPOB. And some of you very gullibly and very foolishly, without the benefit of common sense, reasoning, nor understanding, will join them. Because you are foolish. The only thing that you need to ask these people is this. The only question you need to ask them is this. Who killed the girl at Uli? Who killed her? Who killed the girl at Uli and cut her body into pieces? All these people now issuing statement after statement. Of course, I know they're fake. I'm saying now that DSS is issuing fake statement after fake statement. Who issued a statement when that lady was murdered? She was raped and cut into pieces. An Igbo woman. How many Igbo groups came up then to speak? All these idiots now writing their long epistles for Nation newspaper, for Sahara reporters writing garbage. How many of you wrote your epistle when your sister was raped by uncircumcised Fulani Janjaweed and her body cut into pieces in our land, an abomination? You said nothing. These are the people now that some of you idiots are listening to. When they went to Ozo1, go and Google it, Ozo1 in Enugu, that Ifan Ugwani was calling Buhari, then Buhari refused to take his call. Go and check it until the Fulanis finished massacring our people there. What did you do? Nothing. And you think that under my watch I'm going to allow the Fulani Janjaweed to overrun our land? We will all die. I told you that I'm coming, that I'll bring hell with me. You think I've forgotten? Anything I tell you I'm going to do it. And I will come. And I will bring hell with me. Because nobody is going to stop us. Nobody is going to stop us. Everywhere there is kidnapping, everywhere you go to, bandits are killing. Just Google it. It's in the news. Every blessed day, people are dying. People are being kidnapped. Every blessed day. And some idiots are getting up and talking about one Nigeria. Do you see how foolish some idiots are? You are talking about one Nigeria when in Oturubo there is a Sadwana in Oturubo. All of us must understand this, that Eastern Security Network has come to stay. It's not going anywhere. Everybody in the international community is aware of our sensitization efforts. And now the world understands that the main perpetrators of violent attacks against our people, against everybody, including even some Fulani peasants, are extremists from the north, spearheaded by the Fulani Caliphate. Before the coming of IPOB, the Fulani, through the aid of British government and their zoo media that they control, have always lied about the reality of events in the zoo. Everything is farmer header clash, farmer header clash. These are people taking over the land of the indigenous populations. This left the international community confused for very many years until we came and spent a whole lot of money on our consultants in Washington. It is not hidden. The Department of Justice in America has the details of our contract. And somebody will rise up and say, oh, but where are they spending all the money? Ask him what they do with that. The idiots, some fools who are aware of our financial commitments all over the world. That was when I knew that some people are satanic. Some people are I don't know where they came from to even join IPOB in the first place. Department of Justice in America has our contract, which the zoo, Karaba Sheikh, has been talking about for very many years. Is there how much we pay them on a monthly basis? And, some people are evil by nature. Evil, but it's not going to deter us. We'll continue to move. Are you aware that in Enugu, a Fulani man shot dead a traditional ruler wearing a police uniform? This is the one Nigeria they wanted to belong. This is one Nigeria. Go and tell the family of that traditional ruler about one Nigeria. A policeman, because he's a Fulani. Can you imagine an Igbo man, constable or inspector, going to the north and killing an emir? What do you think will happen? They will kill every Igbo person in that state. But in Enugu, because you people, you allow them, these insults you're receiving is because of, your envy. An Igbo man is very envious by nature. Very envious to the point of destruction. Now look at the Igwe they have killed, the Eze they killed in Enugu. What is going to happen? Nothing. Because you have women, I wouldn't insult women, please, forgive me. You have wretched, lily-livered cowards as your political leaders. I ask you this question. Do you think an Igbo policeman can go to the north and go to storm a village and kill an emir? Is that possible? No. But it's happening in your land. And you open your dirty mouth to say you're a Nigerian. God punish you. Punish you now and punish you forever. The one Nigeria, mad people everywhere. Bandits from Mali are trying to enter Nigeria through Oyo, Makinde. Who hasn't heard that? So you want me to remain in Biafra land and allow people from Mali to come to my village and build a settlement in my village from Mali? Let me say what is going to happen this year. We will start with the saboteurs in our land. I'm telling you the truth. Anytime, start anyone that collaborates with DSS to issue a statement, bring the person's name and the address. I'm saying it live on air. When it will start happening in our land, I will be in The Hague, very close to ICC. They don't need to write any letter to me. Once they say come, I'll just walk in. Anybody from today onwards, anytime you read a statement, we are against ESN, we are against Eastern Security Network, get us the name of that person and the village he comes from and his address. And you hear what will happen to the idiot. You will hear what happened to them. Have you not seen or read what is going on here? People from Mali. From Mali. Are you telling me that I should allow, Omahi is telling me that I should allow people from Mali, under the guise of Fulani, to come in Izi and build a settlement? Like, what type of God made you people, for goodness sake? Are you people human beings at all? You idiots it is here. It is not from Radio Biafra. It is not from any Biafra-friendly publication. This is from Premium Times, a Fulani newspaper publication. Bandits, terrorists from Mali. They come to Izi and Ezar and build a settlement. And because Omahi wants to be vice president to whoever in 2023, because of that, I should allow a terrorist all the way from Mali to come and build settlement in Ebonyi State. Is that what you're saying to me? Is that what you're... No, let's be very clear. Is that what you're saying to me? Then tell me why